Welcome to Marvel Rundown, your source for the most important Marvel news of the week that you need to know. Now here's your hosts, Bob Ballmer and Dan Orboole.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. This is our 4th episode, and we've got a great one in store for you all.
Definitely, Bob. No new news from the JMRC this week, outside of an update on Red Number 3, but that's not to say we don't have anything to talk about.
You and me could talk about anything, Dan. We've got some quality material queued up today. Today's going to be our Marvel League retrospective, and then we're going to make sure everyone's all caught up with the Marvel Rally in time for the new season.
Before we get going, a quick reminder that we now have both a Discord channel and a Patreon. Links to both of those are in the description, along with all our other social media links.
Exciting stuff, Dan. Let's get this show started with our Marvel League retrospective.
Nope.
No?
Oh, sweet vengeance. It's time for You Blew It, Bob. No weaseling out of it this time. Bob, you told us the new captain of Team Primary was Prim. Nope, it's Aymar. You told us the Chocolatiers hadn't been in the league for the last 2 years, but they qualified in 2019. Tisk tisk, Bob. You blew it!
Ooh, that does hurt a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, the ego takes a bit of a beating, but I'm sure you'll be fine.
Oh, I'll be fine. Trust me. It's my writer who should be worried. Marvel League now?
Marble League now.
We definitely had our fill of cool storylines this year.
Oh, without a doubt.
So we saw this season was split into 3 different phases. Why don't we start at the beginning? Phase 1. Gee, those opening ceremonies sure do seem like an eternity ago.
Man, it really does. There was a lot of excitement coming into the league this year, a big thrust into the public eye with a high-profile sponsor, and a number of teams joining the fray that we hadn't seen last year.
I mean, that's what makes for excitement. It's those wild cards.
Oh yeah, and none more wild than the Minty Maniacs right off the bat. So, Phase 1 consists of the first 4 events. We've got Balancing, Halfpipe, Funnel Endurance, and the Newton's Cradle.
And look at that, 3 medals in just the first 3 events. Now that's something special. I don't think we've ever seen a start to the season that explosive.
They were definitely a team a lot of fans, players, and dinosaurs slept on.
And hey, that's how you gotta make a name for yourself. What's almost just as crazy if you think about it, Dan, is that you've got the O-Rangers coming out of that only a few points behind after 3 events, and then even jumping ahead after Newton's Cradle.
Man, yeah, if I'm an O-Ranger, I'm pretty upset that the Maniacs grabbed all the media attention in these opening events. Literally any other season, we'd be raving about them right there.
But if I'm with Mellow Yellow, I'm burying my head deep in the sand.
Yeah, we've been memeing on them for a while. But we can sometimes forget that their drop to the bottom started right away. Only 6 points after 4 events? It's about as bad as it gets.
It's insane. Were the Minty Maniacs sucking out their souls or something? Because there was absolutely no pulse coming from Mellow Yellow there. Only one finish that wasn't last or second last.
I mean, that's gotta be a preparedness thing, right? Just didn't put in enough time in the gym?
No. It's gotta be mental. If you asked me before this season if it was even possible for anyone to do that poorly on the balance beam, I would have resoundingly said no. Today, I stand corrected. No one tanks that hard on the balance beam. Even college athletes. Heck, you could have dropped a middle school team in there, for all I care, and they'd perform better than what Mellow Yellow mustered.
So Phase 2 rolls around and the narrative starts to shift a bit. We get the long jump, hurdles, block pushing, triathlon, moguls, and the 5-meter sprint.
Gosh, I loved watching this develop. There was a lot of talk that started this offseason about a host's curse with how badly the Oceanics performed last year. So with all eyes on Team Galactic, they have a few pretty good performances and look like they're playing consistently. Here, tell me how Team Galactic did. Hurdles?
5th?
Block pushing?
5th?
Triathlon?
5th?
They got 5th place 6 times over the course of the season. Their final score table was a row of 11s.
Nothing that stands out on its own in any particular event, but wow, what a run that was. Man, I remember the Team Galactic fans on the subreddit losing their minds over that.
Rightly so. You know, it's not every day you see that sort of commitment to mediocrity. Anyway, what else happened in Phase 2?
Okay, well, the Balls of Chaos had a pretty dismal midseason. They never got last place, but they also had a pretty incredible run of 6 straight events where they didn't do any better than 14th.
Not going anywhere with that record.
Oh, and this is where the Minty Maniacs tanked for a while before grabbing back-to-back medals at the end of the midseason, and made all of us realize they were going to be a wildly unpredictable team this year.
You know, I remember you specifically wrote them off there, Dan. What was it you told me? That it was just a flash in the pan?
Hey, I stand by that. But yeah, watching them catapult from first to last, event to event, was Well, it made it hard to be in the prediction game, Bob.
Well, and the last noteworthy team here was the Midnight Wisps, who strung together a few consecutive medals, had consistent high finishes, and managed to put themselves in the running for the title heading into Phase 3. And then we arrive at what we're probably all the most familiar with right now, the final 6 events. Want to run them down for us?
Yeah. So we got the black hole funnel, relay, high jump, aquathlon, collision, and the marathon.
We won't spend too long on this, because by this point we all know the story. The O-Rangers grab a huge lead, then blow it all in the final stretch, as the Savage Speeders cruise to a surprising victory.
I do want to quickly highlight a few other things from what happened down the stretch here. We could see the Crazy Cat's Eyes and Raspberry Racers really struggled in the final third. And you know what was the biggest surprise? This is the first time we've mentioned the Raspberry Racers all year.
Gee whiz, how did we miss the Racers? Heck, they were the defending champs for crying out loud.
Yeah, they started out the season alright, nothing spectacular, but they really seemed to just let themselves go at the end here, with the final 4 events that were just about as bad as Mellow Yellow's season opening.
Wait, are you telling me it got that bad?
It got that bad. 3 of the 4 final events were 15th or worse, which is really disheartening to see.
Jeez.
And we saw something similar from the Crazy Cat's Eyes, though not to the same extreme. They definitely eased off the gas in the last 5 events. I honestly wondered if they heard they were hosting next year ahead of time and lost the will to give it their all.
Well, I certainly hope not. That's definitely not what you want to see out of an iconic Marble League team like them. So last thing here, the Minty Maniacs finish off their season with another deep slump, followed by 2 medals in the last 2 events, capping off their roller coaster season. But hey, I guess that's just what you gotta do to keep it #minty fresh for the fans. Better than constantly being in the middle of the road like Team Galactic, right?
Well, from a fan perspective, probably. But as a coach, I'd definitely like to see them tighten that up a bit.
You sure you don't regret not getting into the coaching game, Dan?
Hey, I'm still young enough. It's not off the table yet. Depends on how many more years I think I can handle you.
And with that, it's time for a quick break. Don't go anywhere, because we'll be right back with 5 important things you need to know to be ready for this year's Marble Sand Rally.
And of course, we'll hear from you, the fans, and give you today's question of the day. See you in a moment. So the Marble Rally is coming up, and details are scarce. But, while I'm sure you're all very excited for the return to marble sports, it's been a long while since the last Marble Rally, and possibly even the first time watching the event for some of you. That's why we're here to tell you the top 5 things you need to know before jumping into the action this fall. So every year's rally has changed up the formula a bit. So let's start by looking at last year's series. The Marble Rally consists of 8 races over 3 courses and featured 20 racers. The higher you finish in a race, the more points you get, topping out at 20 points for a first place finish. Finish lower than 15th though, and no points for you. The roster this year will consist of 20 racers again, 12 of last year's top finishers, 4 from the top finishers in the B League, and 4 more that will be decided with a race-off before the first event. This race will be fought between those who finished 13th through 16th in 2019, and finishers 5 through 8 from the B League. So for the auto-qualified teams, coming from the B League we have
Big Pearl, Rastafarian, Lollipop, Duct Tape,
coming from the A League,
Summer Sky, Quicksilver, Comet, Dragon's Egg, Cool Moody, Pollo Loco, Blizzard Blaster, El Capitan, Crazy Cat's Eye, Super Ball, Ghost Blaster,
and of course, the legendary
Red number 3.
So who's gonna fill those last 4 spots? Well, that's up to the race-off. It will be the top 4 finishers of
Slimer, Black Knight, Silverbolt, Reflector, White Widow, Blazing Fireball, Deep Ocean, Nemo.
Got it? Good. Now take a moment to pick your racer if you haven't already. What, you mean choosing solely based on appearance isn't good enough? My, you are an individual of refined tastes. Very well, we'll take a look at how these competitors have done in the past. Red number 3, Slimer, El Capitan, and Quicksilver stand out as the most decorated podium finishers. While red number 3 stands alone on the top with 11 podium finishes, the remainder of these elites clock in with 8 apiece. Maybe you don't need glory, but rather are after consistent good performances, never anything that would embarrass you. these competitors have you covered. But regular success is boring. Maybe you're after a comeback king. Enter the best of the best in come-from-behind victories, winning despite starting the race as far back as 20th. Maybe you're after that edge-of-your-seat excitement and want a tight finish? These are the ones that'll get you that win on a razor's edge. Maybe you're a fan of the young upstart and want someone who made a big splash right away. Here's those competitors that earned a win in the fewest number of races run. Red number 3. By far the most well-known competitor in the rally. What's that? You've been living in a small damp cave for the last 5 years? Well, that'll never do. Here's the quick version. Buckle your pants. Drew Discman has the story.
Red number 3 joined the Sand Rally in 2017, the sophomore year for the event. Through an official partnership with the Marble League's Rojo Rollers, Red debuted with an incredible season, finishing in second place, a mere 1 point behind the champion, Dragon's Egg. And to date, there has been no slowing down. Championship wins in both 2018 and 2019 cemented this marble as a legend in the sport, exhibiting absolutely dominant performances and remarkable consistency. Red holds the top 4 spots for biggest margin of victory in a race. But with such success, obviously comes a lot of skepticism. This all came to a head in late 2018 when Reddit uncovered an alarming fact. Red number 3 was not a marble, but rather a keychain. Amidst loud cries of foul play, Red played the 2019 rally and took home the championship, but the cries of unfairness persisted. On August 18th of this year, Red number 3 officially announced his decision to voluntarily undergo surgery to receive a glass body in order to continue to compete in the marble rally in good faith. More recently, we saw Red on August 23rd attending the marble rally training with the other competitors. So it would appear that the recovery has gone well, and all reports indicate that he will be back in full form come the start of the rally. And now you're all caught up. The Marble Rally debuts sometime this fall, and you can count on TMR to be there with all the breaking news on it as it happens. This has been Drew Discman, TMR.
From the fans.
So last week we asked you what you thought we'd see out of a Crazy Cat's Eyes hosted Marble League, and you definitely had some great ideas. Tim, I think, suggests there won't be any water events next year since cats don't like water. Sound reasoning. Bet the Oceanics are hoping he's right.
And here's a little deep dive with Pinstar. He riffs on the crazy part of the Cat's Eyes name, and predicts things like a hall of mirrors, upside down staircases, weird optical illusions, that sort of thing.
Thinking beyond just the events, a friend of the show, Thesaurus Dinosaurus, predicts Greg Woods will make about 1 million cat puns. Perfection, cat-like reflexes, and so on. You know, speaking of him, he's got some great Marble League roasts, and is definitely worth a sub.
And my personal favorite, we've got Nuansa, sporting a cat profile pic, combining both of our predictions, saying, I predict a sand mogul race in a cat's litter box.
Wouldn't that be something? Alrighty, so we already asked you which marble you support in the Marble Rally on our community poll.
Subscribe to make sure you see those, by the way.
So today we want to know, what do you think about Red number 3's surgery? For everyone who is already a fan, do you think that this will have an impact on his performance? And for those of you who are outraged by the not a marble scandal, does his decision to get the surgery done somehow redeem him in your eyes? Let us know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to use the hashtag QOTD.
And that brings us to the end of another episode.
Oh wow, already? Jeez, how time flies.
Tick-tock, my spherical friend.
Well, thanks again to everyone for tuning in. We'll see you back here next week, same time, same place. It's Marble Rundown on TMR.
So long, everyone.